Hey guys, alright, so happy Friday. I hope that you are all surviving Mercury retrograde and sitting here in between these two eclipses that we're having and everything. I decided that today you need a little bit of guidance, especially because it's this time. I think a lot of people are feeling strained. They're like, how did I make it to Friday kind of thing. And it reminds me of, I was thinking about it just now, it reminds me of the Asian gentleman from The Hangover, who always used to say after he'd done something terrible and they reprimand him, they're screaming and shouting and everything's his fault, he looks at them and he says, "But did you die?" So that's how I feel this Friday, and I'm saying to all of you, here you are. If you're here, you didn't die, you've made it. Okay, so we're going to look at some general guidance, what we need to know. I'm going to be using today the crystal deck. Okay, as you see, it's done its time. This deck is by Amanda Sampson. Okay, written by Amanda Sampson. Couldn't find it on the box. So if you like them and you want me to use them again, please let me know. Or maybe you want to purchase a deck for yourself. They're really handy. They've got beautiful pictures on the front, okay, of the different crystals with basic information, what it looks like, how available it is, and then it's got a write up at the back. I'm just going to use the basic, that was a bad example because that's how to use it. So for instance, if we're doing carnelian, I'm just going to look at the divinatory meaning at the bottom to give you some guidance and any info that I may know of. Like carnelian's one of my favorites for grounding and getting yourself through a time like this, ironically. Alright, so I'm going to be using those today. I'm also going to be using some others. I was thinking about it and thinking, what else do we want? I feel like I want to use goddesses and sirens as well. You've seen this before if you watch my channel. And Spirit Oracle, one of my favorites, which are just giving the most beautiful messages right now and getting us through some stuff. I don't know if any of you saw on Instagram yesterday, I posted about a twin flame reading I did for somebody, and I used these a lot as well. The most beautiful messages came through. I was crying. Don't know if she was crying on the other end, but yeah, it was really amazing. So I'm going to tilt the camera a bit, I think, so you guys can see, or otherwise I can just show you the cards as we go. Let's just get them ready first. So I hope you're all coping, you're all getting through it. What you're going to notice is that you have a lot of tests and triggers going on at the moment. People that are testing your patience, old emotions coming up, and you're like, why on earth am I even thinking about this? I'm just trying to think like what I've experienced. Silly things, like things that you forgot about or you haven't sorted out that come from the past, and you think, oh, here we go again. Revisiting, or damn, I forgot to sort that out, I forgot to deal with that. And we're just like tying up loose ends, maybe with financial stuff, a debt you forgot to pay, and it's not major, it's like for dentistry or something. But you just think, does it all have to happen this week? We had one car go into the shop to get fixed. The minute it came back, almost on the drive back from the garage, the next car gave in, and now that one's in hospital. So, people have the mentality of, yeah, but it never rains, but it pours. What are we being forced to do? We, as in me and my family, are being forced to deal with fixing the cars that we've been putting off. So, universe is like, kick up the butt, just do it now. So now it's done. That's what I mean by tying up loose ends. Okay, who else are we gonna... What else have you guys been experiencing? Maybe your kids are testing you. Yeah, let's not go there. But we sorted it out. Maybe family member and you have been at odds and you need to just have a nice heart-to-heart and get back to basics. Okay, so we're going to use Goddesses and Sirens, Spirit Oracle, and the Crystal deck, which is a bit new to me, but that's cool. It's not new, I've had it forever. I just don't know why I've never really used it much. So I looked at it last night and it said, use me, use me. Okay. Alright, let us see what Goddesses and Sirens are going to say to us first, as the basis for our theme, I think. And I'm just going to ask, what do we need to know right now? What do we need to know today? Okay. What messages do we really need to get through right now to get us through this tumultuous time? July is transformation month. If you were looking at making changes and you've delayed, guess what? The universe is going to do it for you. Cycles. Persephone, okay? We've had her before as well. And we have Aphrodite, self-love, which is definitely something that needs to be addressed and has been addressed for weeks and weeks and weeks. And what everyone's working on, it's a new thing for us, you know. People weren't working on self-love. They were working on exhausting themselves and abusing others. That's been a mentality of the world for a long time. Abusing ourselves and abusing others. So let's fix that. We also have Newt. Okay, expansiveness. Alright. And we have Kuan Yin. Some of you not getting the message. Kuan Yin goes with Aphrodite because this is forgive others and forgive yourself. Alright? She's all about compassion. She's all about seeing yourself for your true worth. That's how she woke up to it, because she was like a goddess of light. And after some trauma, to really shorten the story, she hid away from the world. And her sister coaxed her into coming out of the cave she was in hiding in and held up a mirror for her to see her own light. And when she saw her own light, she came out back into the world. Everything was great. All the negative stuff that was happening was dissolved, and everything was great again. All right, so it's about self-love as well. And compassion. Compassion for yourself and others. You must never forget yourself when you do things like this. Don't just think, you know, when you... things like this, I mean, like the transformation we're going through. Don't just think, oh, well, you know, I have to have more compassion for others, more compassion for others. It starts with you. Loving somebody else starts with you loving yourself. So once you're doing things for yourself, that's when things start falling into place. Okay, let me ask if there are any other cards. I think this is just about it, but I'm going to do 3 more. Is there anything else? I don't like to see them when I'm shuffling. Last one. No. Ooh. Okay, last one. Are you sure? Any other cards? Oh, I always say last one. Have you noticed that I'm not convinced? Okay, they're sort of falling around, but they're not popping out at me. We're done. Okay, then I'm going to quickly first do Spirit Oracle. What messages do you have for us to get through this transformation July, please? Emotions. This is about the full moon. The full moon is very important, okay? Karma, or karma for us Westerners. I will read them to you. There's immense karma clearing going on at the moment, okay? This is what this month is about as well. The moon facilitates that. The eclipses and the new moon that we had, you see there, new moon, full moon. And how it affects your emotions, how you deal with emotions, how you process old emotions. What else you got for us? What else is going to help us through July, please? Forgiveness, compassion, forgive yourself. Okay? And I've just spotted at the back here, it says it's time to heal old wounds. Okay, any other messages for us, please? For July. I think that's it. Oh, not. Regret. This is part of this forgiveness and forgiving yourself, all right? And it's these emotions. These are emotions that it's talking about. Compassion, regret, self-love, forgiveness. They're all more or less the same colors as well, which is quite interesting. Oh, there we go. One more. Okay. Is there anything else? I'm going to do 3 more. I promise this time. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Last one there. Positive outcome. I had this in my other reading yesterday as well. And you can see it's not for lack of shuffling. Working on the chakras here as well. Balancing yourself, balancing your karma. But we're going to talk about that in a second. Alright? Positive outcome. There has to be a positive outcome. And the reason I say that is because you're clearing out all this junk. You know, it's heavy. It's heavy going through this. It really is. It's not for sissies. And what you need to remember is you've got to keep your eye on the ball. You've got to say, to what end am I going through what I'm going through? If I process this old relationship, if I process this abusive period I went through in my life, if I process that time when I was retrenched and didn't work for 2 years and it affected me psychologically, where will I be? I'll be better off. Okay, please, I feel like this needs one more shuffle. Probably because I don't use them often. And I looked at Cornelian, which was kind of a bit of cheating. Okay. Alright, so what can you help us with for July, please? How do we get through this? Wow, okay. Oh, you won't believe what's just popped up. Who are you? Okay. I don't know if any of you use crystals, or you don't have to necessarily use crystals to get the message. Okay, so if you think crystals are a load of nonsense, and I don't say that disrespectfully to anyone who's into it at all, I quite like my crystals, but you don't have to like the crystal or use the crystal to get the message. They're really all over the place. They're very big cards to try and shuffle. Like my hand hardly fits over, and I don't have small hands really. Any more? I'll get the hang of them once I'm used to the size. I've been looking at this one all the time. Every time I open this pack, Beryl is facing me, ironically. I looked at it just now. When I unpacked it, it was at the top. Okay, anything else? Okay. I'll do 3 more. 1, 2, 3, and 1 for luck. You guys should know me by now. Just in case I miss something, I don't want them to think, ah, Shereen, you should have done it one more time. Okay, give me 1 second. Labradorite. I have my piece of Labradorite with me. I've been holding it in my hand this morning for some weird reason. I love Labradorite. I'm wearing Labradorite as well. It's a little bit dirty. I don't know if you guys can see there how beautifully it reflects. It's almost got like a tiger's eye or like a moonstone kind of effect. See that? Absolutely beautiful. It's my favorite stone. It's wonderful for people who do the kind of work I do with psychic ability and intuition. It's very protective if you do that kind of thing to, not pick up on any people who are just like a bit leaning towards like being energy vampires or are abusive or negative, so it doesn't get you down and you can keep your energy high for your clients. So what we have here is, let's get into it. I've got Bogie stone. I hope I'm saying that correct. I'm not familiar with it. Brownish blue, smooth and round, for female energy and square for male. That's quite interesting. It's very rare. All right. The keywords are duality. This is the masculine and feminine energies we've been working on balancing for so long. Cycles. Persephone. And identity, your self-worth, your self-love, who you are. Some of you are getting into, being more familiar with what your purpose is, what you came here to do. You've maybe changed jobs to something that's more in alignment with something that's your purpose or that you enjoy doing creatively. So that's very interesting. All right, so it says, drawing this card signifies more balance of the feminine and masculine is required in your life. Work with the female and the male energies to see where there are blocks or inequalities. Okay. All right. I'm going to go through these first. This is very interesting. Okay, so you see Labradorite. Hold on 1 second. Let me get that one. Do you see that? There we go. It's picking up the color nicely. There's greens and blues. It's the most beautiful stone. I really love this. It is good for so many things. It can ground, protect, open up your intuition. Just crazy about it. Beautiful. That's what I wanted to show you guys just now. This is Labradorite, okay? And here it says, Labradorite is for psychic development, meditation, and responsibility. Drawing this card signifies it's time to open to your spiritual path. What fears hold you back from the unknown? How can you use the processes of the higher mind and the spirit to overcome them? Okay, so there's that old saying of everything you want is on the other side of fear. Do something that scares you. If you need to take a leap, I've been thinking about something I wanted to do today that scares me a bit. I'm going to go and do it and see what happens. Usually it works out quite well. And if we keep this card in mind, it's positive outcome. Alright? Okay, so that's fantastic. Muscovite. Reflective, flexible, and is good to use for insight. Alright, I'm seeing 2 red stones here. There's a ruby as well. And then the blues. Blues, greens, and reds. This is mainly heart chakra, your heart energy center. This is where all your power comes from. The power that fuels your body, the power that fuels your mind, the power that fuels your ambition. Yes, some other people are going to tell me, yes, the lower chakras as well. Yes, indeed. But everything starts from here. The love is sent out from here. The energy is sent out from here. The compassion is sent out from here. The things we're talking about, your expansiveness, you can do through your heart center. Everyone thinks it comes from here. it actually comes from here. Alright, so we have Muscovite. Let's see what it says. Drawing this card indicates it is time to step outside yourself and see yourself as your situation clearly. Okay. Do you live your life with conscious reflection on your actions and your motivations? If not, it is time to listen, absorb, and reflect. Okay, I always say to people, you need to, when you're in a situation, I've never explained it with an object before. Say, for instance, you are having trouble with your counterpart, your partner, whatever, and you guys are fighting all the time, and you're in this tumultuous, hectic cycle, going around in circles, and this is what's happening, okay? And you're in this bubble of frustration, anger, not speaking to each other, just offering someone a cup of tea out of politeness because you feel you have to, and you're in this big mess. The minute you withdraw yourself from that situation, get out of the bubble that you find yourself in, and you zoom out, and you look at it from this perspective here, and you look at this as if it's two other people, you'll be amazed at how you can make changes. Because what would you say, or what would you do if you had to give these two people advice? If you were observing yourself as a different person in that situation, what would you tell that person to do? What advice would you give them? You'd say, hey, wait, you're overreacting. Are you being petty? Are you wasting your energy on things where you could direct your energy more effectively? And try to give yourself advice. This is a miraculous exercise to do, okay? So I really feel that's what it's telling you. And also you must realize as well that this can affect your heart chakra. You don't want to fight with a person you love. You might get to a point where right now you're in a space where I really don't like you. I don't want to be around you. I wish you weren't in my life. And the minute that actually had to happen, if your words had to become truth, which is very, very possible, would you regret it? Think about it and engage your emotions and your rationality a bit before you engage your words. Alright. Okay, so then we have, let me do ruby because it's also red. So ruby is passion, courage. This is what we're just talking about, having the courage to do hard things or things that scare us. And consciousness. Consciousness is coming up so much. Alright. Beryl, I'm not familiar with it. Scrying for power, truth, and vision. Truth is a big thing. This is just said, be true to yourself. Be honest with yourself, alright? Drawing this card signifies the way forward will be clearer and easier. A clear sense of purpose will enter your life, allowing you to move on. That's a beautiful message. And that again says the positive outcome, alright? I hope I can contribute to your clarity today. Alright, and then finally we have agate. This particular agate in this picture speaks to me because it's blue lace agate. Beautiful stone, easily obtained as well. And this blue lace agate is fantastic for the throat chakra. Alright, so if you're feeling you haven't been able to communicate very well, i.e. Mercury retrograde, or you feel like you are oppressed somehow, you're not able to speak, you feel like you're not heard, maybe you're talking and it's like talking to a brick wall, or somehow you feel some kind of stuck energy here. Also, if you get pharyngitis or laryngitis very often, there's something going on here. You're not speaking your truth, or you're not being heard. There's some oppressive energy here. Blue lace agate is fantastic for this. Alright? Fantastic for it. Alright, so it says, drawing this card indicates a need to quietly contemplate your purpose. Are you steadily working in the direction you need to, or are you blithely moving forward? So are you just going through the motions and like just plodding along, or are you actually making plans? And you know what I want to say at this point? When I say this to people and they're saying, are you moving and working on the direction you need to move? We feel as if we've done so much work. Like if you tell me I have to do another thing right now, I'm actually so exhausted. I'm like, I can't. Especially people who are going through things like the twin flame thing and all sorts of other energies. They are changing jobs. They've had to leave jobs that don't serve them because they want to follow their purpose. All of this kind of thing. It's draining. And when someone says to you, are you steadily working on something? You think, you know what, I just can't anymore. Just like, get away from me. However, you can sit and rest and contemplate, and you can sit and rest and surf the internet about what you're trying to do. If you want to send your resume off to somebody, you can do it lying in bed. Try and do stuff that doesn't make you feel physically exhausted, doesn't feel overwhelming, but still do the hard things, do the things that scare you. All right, but you don't have to push yourself, and know that you don't want to put yourself in a position where you are in the mindset of, I'm putting myself through more than the universe is putting me through now already. I'm already going through this. I'm going through whatever your personal struggle is at the moment, okay? I'm not expecting you to think or feel that you can take on more than you already have. Nobody's in the position to do that right now. And you must know that to a large extent, you just have to sit and wait. The universe is doing its thing now. You've put in the work, you've planted the seeds. We're now waiting for harvest, all right? But we should never stop planning. And if it involves lying in bed, surfing the internet for a job in another country, or a job in town or closer to home, whatever it is, or speaking to the person you've needed to speak to for so long and just sending that message and lying in bed and chatting to them, or phoning a friend you haven't spoken to in a long time to make amends, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be hectically challenging like you doing Survivor and it's physical labor. It doesn't have to be that way. All right, so think of what you can do in that regard to sort of shift yourself a little bit, okay? So coming back to these things, the Kuan Yin one I'm not going to dwell on too much. I'm going to just give you, sorry about the helicopter, I'm going to give you the basic messages here. Kuan Yin's compassion we have all the time. You need to have compassion for others. This is where forgiveness comes from, and forgiveness of yourself as well, all right? If somebody does something that you don't agree with, or there's something in them or a behavior they have that triggers you, you need to say to yourself, why does that irritate me? And what can I do about it? I've got a woman on Instagram that I used to follow, all right? I do still follow. And it's not any of you, don't worry. She used to do a short video in the mornings that used to irritate me because I didn't like her voice. Okay? I'm telling you, I'm being honest. I don't know what it was. It wasn't that she's got a squeaky voice or anything. It was the way she said it and the tone. And I felt that it felt rushed and she didn't really mean it. Okay? However, I knew that I could learn something from her and that what she was imparting was valuable. And she would do a blurb, which was exactly what she was physically saying. At the same time, she'd write a blurb underneath the post. So what I decided to do was, I first thought, why does this trigger me? Why does this upset me? And then I realized that it's not even necessary for me to find out why. There's something about it I don't like. Do I have to obsess over it? No. Do I have to unfollow her and jeopardize what she can teach me because I'm being weird? No. So what I did as a solution is I've set my Instagram so that I don't listen to a video unless I want to, and then I press the mute button to unmute it. And now I don't listen to her voice, I just read the message, and I've learned a lot from her, and it's not any fault of hers, it's not any fault of mine. It was a test for me to see, what do you do, Shereen, when you get a trigger, especially if it's not a major trigger. How seriously do you take it? How much energy do you spend on something that you find that triggers you? So that's something for us to look at and to think about. And, maybe someone finds my voice annoying. Did I ever think of that? Did I consider it? Has anybody put something they don't like about me aside because they'd rather pay attention to what I can teach them or what I can help them with? I've never asked that question of myself. So maybe I need to, because is someone doing for me what I've done for her or with her? For myself as well, so I can still learn, I still support her, I'm still in admiration of what she can teach me. How she says it in that snippet for 30 seconds of my life doesn't matter. So coming from a place of compassion or understanding And compassion for myself, how would I feel if that was happening to me? Even if unbeknown to me or unbeknown to her, that's how I feel about it. Does someone take the time to see the value or see what's most important? Would you rather not have that knowledge at all? Or would you rather, have the knowledge and just get past switching the small stuff and stupid stuff that takes up our time that's not worth it? Okay, that's just one little example. Aphrodite, self-love. I'm going to read from the book for her. This is an oracle card, so I don't feel too bad reading from the book. But this is about exploring yourself, okay, looking after yourself. It might be that you need to do more physical exercise and get that sexy bod like she does, or accept your body the way it is. I have insulin resistance, so I am more puffy one day than I am the next day. It's something that I have to work with and work on and try to heal, but it's something that I also have to accept to a large extent. So I'm not going to look like Aphrodite every day of my life. I'm going to have some days where I can wear the skinny jeans and some days when I have to wear the fat jeans. And we need to accept these things about ourselves. We need to love ourselves as we are. And you also need to realize something I told my child the other day. When you walk into a supermarket or a shopping mall or whatever, we're so self-conscious. We're thinking, how does my hair look? Did I remember to put mascara on? Do I look fat in these jeans? And you need to remember that everyone around you is thinking the same thing. Is my hair standing up? Did I remember to, put a bra on? Whatever. Everybody around you is having the same thought process. We've been programmed to be so insecure in ourselves and so obsessed with outer appearances and image. We're never going to all look like the Kardashians of the world or have what they have. We need to learn to love ourselves and to appreciate what we have now and work with what we have. And remember that it's a lesson. We're here in this body, whatever shape or size it is as well, for a specific reason. Okay? To learn things, to maybe learn how to heal yourself in some way so that you can impart that to somebody else. You don't know why it is always, but self-love is very, very important, and forgiving yourself for things that you've done. All right. This is very much coming up. Forgiveness. I'm going to go to that one, actually. Yes. It's time for one of these now. All right. Forgiveness. This is, it is time to heal old wounds. Forgiveness is required. Do not allow yourself to be a victim any longer, for in doing so, you only hurt yourself. You are eternally loved. Embrace the love that is being offered and allow it to heal you. Okay, if you haven't seen these before, it's these ones. I'm sure you guys have. I use them a lot. Okay, the next one is regret, which I really feel is relevant right now at this point in the reading. It says, there is nothing sadder than looking back on some part of your life with regret, wondering what you could have done but did not. Go for it. Sometimes it's better to try and fail than not to try at all. All is not lost. You still have time to turn this situation around. Let go of fear and apprehension and follow your heart. Alright, didn't we have something like this just now? That said, go for it, try it. Do that hard thing that scares the crap out of you. Okay. Everything you want is on the other side of the fear. And the minute we do something, I'm sure you've learned in your life by this stage already as well. You must be able to think on something that you did that scared you to death. Maybe even just asking a girl to go for a drink. And what happened? You probably maybe ended up marrying the love of your life because you did that thing that scared you. All right? That's what that's about. Then we have karma. This is a big theme. This is about people coming back from the past, okay? Okay. All right, it says someone from the past re-emerges in your life. This gives you the opportunity to handle things differently than you did before. Stand firmly in your power, yet stand also in the light of love. The universe is presenting you with a fresh opportunity to clear away any lingering karma linked to this relationship. This is the month. I'm telling you how many times this comes up, that someone from your past is coming back, whether it be a friend, a lover, whatever, whether it is unfinished business and a chapter you need to close, or a rebirth of a relationship. It needs to be dealt with, and you need to be honest with that person. Stand firmly in your power, yet stand also in the light of love. Okay, and that speaks to self-love as well. I didn't read from the book because I then got an intuitive message, in case you're wondering why I haven't. This is self-love as well. Healthy boundaries. Standing in your power, like it says. Stand firmly in your power, yet stand also in the light of love. All right? You need to sort out lingering karma. This is what this month is all about. Sorting out old stuff. And sometimes the person doesn't physically appear in your life. Hey, sometimes this happens in the dream state. You dream about them, and that's how you process it. And if you have the ability to do that, or you're blessed with that happening for you right now, I've had it a few times, and you don't actually have to face that person and have that conversation, remember to say thanks for that. Because that's a blessing to be able to do it in the dream state. Especially if it scares you, if it terrifies you. Ask your guides to let you deal with it in the dream state, maybe. Okay, this is coming after karma. This is the emotions, the cycles. Respect these cycles. Know that you can effect positive change with the magnetic pulls and stuff. You know, this is science as well. It's not always just spirituality. These have influences in your life, on your body, on your mind, on your moods. You know, if they can influence the tides of the ocean, there must be something to it, and the magnetic pull and all of that. Okay, so it says here, you are awash with unexpressed emotions. Say exactly what you feel. This is the blue lace agate card, hey? Throat chakra. When I said to you, when you need to speak your truth, say exactly what you feel. It is safe for you to speak your truth. Some of you really need to hear that. If it's a boss that you need to say, you know what, you treat me badly, and I'm not going to tolerate it anymore, whatever the case is, obviously within reason, and also to sort a problem like that out, similar problem, from the place of compassion as well. Why is that person behaving that way? Is this guy being an ass to me because he's going through a divorce? He's just found out his wife's cheating on him. He's bitter because he's lost a child. Whatever the case is, try to come from that place. All right, maybe you guys even have something in common, but don't also allow abusive situations. All right. Okay. Then this where it says, are you steadily working in the direction you need to, or are you blithely moving forward? Okay, I'm going to get to that. Hold on. We're busy with cycles here. I need to finish this. This was about the emotions that you're dealing with, the cycles also that we are dealing with. See how these cards almost like match up on the sides, on the edges. You need to respect cycles in your own life, and you need to be cognizant of cycles in your own life. All right. Know that there's full moon, there's new moon, there's darker times, there's lighter times, all the time. We need to recognize that these cycles happen in our lives as well. Things are not always going to be bad. Things are not always going to be good. You are not always going to have the friends that you have. They're going to come and go and move out of your life. You're not always going to get what you want. But there is a season and a reason for everything. And we need to honor those cycles. Just like you have to honor the cycles of your body. There are times when you are full of energy. There are times when you need to rest and you man down and you need to make peace with it. There are times when you are in good stead with your loved ones and you get along fantastically. There are other times when you don't. What do you do about it? Do you use compassion to sort it out? Sometimes we also just need to wait. The lessons now for us, universally, the lessons that are going on right now that the universe is teaching us is patience, to respect that some things don't always happen when we demand them to, that we are not always in control of things. All right? And at the same time, it sounds crazy, but at the same time realizing what you're capable of and what you are in control of. But we are impatient human beings, we've been conditioned that way because everything just happens like this. I want something, I order it online, and it arrives tomorrow. If it doesn't arrive tomorrow, I throw a tantrum because I want it now. And if I don't get it now, I'm going to be a brat. And this is how we have become, because that's what society has allowed us to become, because there's this demand for things, excess, and it must be now. I want it yesterday. And things don't really work like that other than in the 3D earth reality. So we need to get back to ourselves and get to a more spiritual place and realize that we need to respect these cycles. Persephone visits her mother 6 months of the year in the Greek pantheon, okay? Because she was kidnapped by Hades and taken to the underworld. So 6 months of the year she stays there, and 6 of the months of the year she stays with her mother. And her mother is in charge of the seasons. So when her daughter is down with Hades for 6 months of the year, it's winter because her mother's sad. When her daughter is with her, it is summer because her mother's full of joy. And so the cycle goes on, all right? And this is what it's about. I want to read just that for you as soon as I see where I put the book. Okay. Doesn't want to be found. Also helps if Shereen realizes that she's looking for Persephone. Here we go. Respect your own natural cycles. It is time for a change, and it will be positive. Positive outcome, okay? Be mindful of seasonal changes and go with the flow on these in your diet and your activity level. I spoke about that with the Aphrodite card as well, all right? I also want to say, this is a story of cycles. In ancient Greece, when a young woman was married, she left home and joined the family of her husband. Her birth family were both sad and happy, and there was often a period of adjustment for the bride. The bride, although losing her identity and freedom as a maiden, is made queen of her new home, and with the birth of children repeats the cycle. Should lovely Persephone grace your life, it is to remind you that cycles are natural. There are times to feel introverted and extroverted, energetic and restful, happy and sad. None is better than the other. Take the time to connect with your own personal cycles, and you can expect to reap many benefits, particularly physical ones. Okay, releasing negative stuff and going through the cycles, which is also releasing your emotions, can have huge benefits physically. Okay, I'm actually working with a lady at the moment whose physical ailments do stem from psychological stuff and past trauma, etc. This is a real thing. If you guys want to look into it, you may or may disagree, but and if you may have heard of her before, she's actually passed away already. Look up a thing called Louise Hay's list of diseases, all right, and she will tell you through her research what she has found manifests physically in your body due to something going on with you emotionally. Like, I think one of the examples, I don't know if it was her or if I read it somewhere else, is like people who suffer with gout often are going through stages of anger or have anger issues. And you need to find the root of that anger. Why are they angry in order to heal that gout? Very, very interesting. So look at Louise Hay's list of diseases, and you might learn something very interesting. Use yourself as an example and see what comes up. Okay, then we have Nuit. I never really know how to pronounce her, but I think that's correct. This is about expansiveness, all right? And when we say expansiveness, Nuit was a sky goddess, which means that she expanded across the entire sky. This is to show you that you have no limits. You are limitless. You can stretch your abilities, your power, your influence, your imagination as far as you want. And we sometimes forget as human beings that we have this ability. Okay? Yes, you're not a sky goddess, but you have the potential to do this, because you are still a spirit body. There's more to you than just the flesh that you are sitting in right now. You are a spirit body who's capable of many things, who's got energies that you can produce and direct to manifest and create things. Okay, and we've just forgotten about this. So this is very important. This is also allowing you to be expansive in the sense of, taking those risks we were talking about, stretching yourself a little bit. It says here, it is time for you to think big. Remember the card we always get that says, think big, don't think small things about yourself. It comes from our mermaids and dolphins pack. We've had that a few times. It's time to think big. There are unlimited possibilities. Mystery is a natural part of life. It is fine not to know every detail before proceeding. You are a star in your own right. Okay, it says her energy is as wide as the sky, as big as the universe, and as bright as a star. Within the Egyptian pantheon, she displayed the role of the sky goddess, while the celestial heavens were held up and were her body. Below, in a mirror image, was her brother, the earth god Geb. Okay, she invites us to share the infinite and expand accordingly. Her flowing energy suggests to us that there is nothing we cannot do and encourages us to embrace big possibilities. While many of us are fearful to expand and to take risks in that growth, she encourages traveling forward with a strong intention anyway. When you're feeling small, when you are stuck in the tiny details, remember the example I used, you guys? When you're stuck in the tiny details, that there is no place in the world for you, Nyat is the perfect goddess to assist you to find relief. She is also encouraging to those who feel that they need to have all the answers all the time, which can be exhausting on so many levels. Not knowing actually leads to growth too. The idea that there are some things that should stay unexplained due to the beauty of the mystery is very much one that Newt champions. Okay, that is also the divine timing thing, or the lesson of patience that we're learning that I'm talking about. We're learning patience, and this is saying we sometimes need to have the idea that there are some things that should stay unexplained due to the beauty of the mystery. And when that mystery is revealed to us, it's 10 times better than what we could have created for ourselves should we have been control freaks and said, I want it now. Okay, maybe you can even think of an example in your life like that. It also says, whilst she teaches us that we and all of life are pure possibility, just feeling that something is possible is not enough. We must follow this up with action. Participating towards our intention grounds that possibility. Even taking a small, sometimes seemingly unrelated step towards our desire will see us moving closer to even the biggest of our dreams. Okay, one small step, sending your resume off, or going over to say hi to that person who you think may be able to offer you an opportunity. All right, people, we're finishing off. Long reading today, but I think some very relevant, good messages came through. And finally, positive outcome. If you can balance your energies, you can meditate, you can balance your chakras, go for a Reiki session, whatever. I know a very, very good guy who does it remotely. If you would like to have his information, he's absolutely fantastic. Some of my clients are using him already because I've recommended him. He does it long distance from overseas, but I promise you, when he connects to you, you'll know he's connecting to you. He's done amazing work for me as well. All right, so contact me if you want to speak to him. He fixes this. He's fantastic. He's friendly. He's a young, energetic guy. He's really, really lovely. All right, contact me if you want to speak to him. You can go to the link that I'm going to post at the bottom. There you can get my Etsy shop. You can get in contact with me, send me an email, whatever you want to do. You can send a message through Instagram and say to me, I want to know about the guy who does the Reiki, and I promise you I'll put you in contact with him with the greatest pleasure. All right, I'm going to finish off now. There is hope. Don't give up now. Have faith. Trust. The forces of love are at work behind the scenes. This is where the patient comes in. Wait for things to happen behind the scenes, all right? The forces of love are at work behind the scenes. Expect a joyous and positive outcome. Okay, please remember that we're going through cycles, we're going through the hard stuff, we're going through winter so that spring can come. And when spring comes, that is going to be a beautiful thing. And we're going to see the fruits of our labors, and we're going to see why it was worth putting up with this and getting through it, and why the hard times were necessary. Maybe you even meet somebody while you're having this hard time that's instrumental in your life, and you have this light bulb moment. You think, hey, if I wasn't going through a bad time and ended up talking to John about it, he wouldn't have proposed this, and I wouldn't be where I am now. Okay, so please try and keep the faith, remain optimistic, watch your thoughts. You can manifest negatively as easily as you can manifest positively. Keep yourself in a positive frame of mind. If you catch yourself saying negative stuff, see how you can turn it around. Okay. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I do all sorts of reading: twin flame, past life, general guidance, career stuff, love stuff, whatever you need. My guides will help me to give you that information and to lead you in the right direction. I do have that faith. And so please, again, the link in the bio says Linktree. If you click on it, it links to everything: my YouTube channel, my Instagram, the website. If you want to look at testimonials, it links to the Etsy shop, all sorts of stuff. So you can decide which button you click, what you want to do. And don't forget, if you want to try that Reiki with the gentleman I'm talking about, please contact me, and I'll happily put you in touch. Okay, I wish you all a blessed weekend. Enjoy it. Please try to relax, and I hope you get through this. I will chat to you again soon. We'll do the full moon reading on Tuesday. Please don't miss it. This is going to be fantastic. This is a moon of fulfillment and manifestation, and things coming to a head, and things reaching their fullness, what we've been waiting for. Okay, so keep an eye out. Subscribe, follow if you want to get a notification of when that is uploaded. I will do it on Tuesday, on full moon. I will try to do it a little bit earlier, so that if there's any guidance there of what you need to do, if you guys want to do something to let something go or pull something in, attract something, manifest something, that you have some tools that I can maybe give you to actually do that in the evening. So it's difficult with time differences, but I will do it in the Central African time that I work on, because I'm in Johannesburg at the moment. And hopefully I get to you soon enough that you are able to implement it. But you can also remember that when you have full moon or new moon, you can always work within a parameter of 3 days before or 3 days after. All right. So nature's flexible. And if you don't have the time at that specific point, or you have meetings at work, or you just need to sleep that night when you get home, do it without guilt. And know that you've got 3 days before and 3 days after to start working on that stuff. All right. Lots of love, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.